Ever feel like job interviews are kind of a game?
Yeah.
Like one you can't quite crack the code for? Well, today, get ready to level up because we're diving deep into some seriously strategic advice. We're talking about nailing those interviews.
Yeah, and we've got a really interesting YouTube video transcript as our guide today. It's called Top 7 Interview Questions and Answers from the CareerVids channel.
Oh, I've seen their stuff. They always have solid advice. So what makes this one stand out?
Well, it's not just your typical vague tips, this one gets surprisingly detailed, like practical strategies for answering those classic interview questions that always seem to trip people up, those ones that you just know are coming.
Oh, I totally get that. It's like you know the question is coming, but you still freeze up when it does. Like that dreaded, tell me about yourself opener. Seems so simple, but
But it's a total minefield if you're not prepared. And the source really hammers home that it's not about your whole life story.
right.
It's about making a tight, compelling connection between your skills and what they're looking for in that role.
Totally. And you know what I appreciate about how they break this down? They actually give a sample answer.
Oh, yeah, the examples are gold.
And it's not just I'm a hard worker. It's like I'm a diligent and supportive team player. You know, the kind of person who's always willing to go the extra mile.
See, and that right there, that's music to a hiring manager's ears. Because you're not just claiming something, you're showing them who you are at work.
And I loved how they snuck in frugal to the example answer. It's like you're already speaking their language. Subtle, but brilliant.
Exactly. Demonstrating those shared values, even indirectly, can be huge. Okay, but then we get to a question that I always find tricky. Why this company? Why not any other job?
Oh, I know that feeling. Like, how do you answer that genuinely without sounding like you just looked them up on LinkedIn 5 minutes ago?
Right, and that's where the research becomes so important. This source, they really emphasize that you got to do your homework. Company culture, values, what they've accomplished lately.
Because if you can tie your goals to their track record of success,
Bingo. Or mention how their commitment to innovation excites you.
it shows you're not just looking for any job, you're interested in them specifically.
You got it. And that makes you stand out.
Now, can we talk about the question that makes me sweat a little? Tell me about your strengths and weaknesses. Where do you even start with that one?
Okay, get ready. Because this source had a really interesting take on it. They suggest a structured approach. Strength, strength, then weakness. But you end on a positive note.
So, you sandwich the weakness? That's clever. Control the narrative.
Exactly. And their examples were spot on. It's not I'm a hard worker. It's I'm fast, I'm diligent, meaning I consistently beat deadlines.
Night and day.
Right. One's vague, the other is you showing results.
Okay, I'm seeing the pattern here. Be specific, show, don't tell.
And when it comes to the weakness part, choose something you're actively working on, not just confessing your deepest flaws.
Shows self-awareness and that desire to grow. Okay, that's reassuring. What's next on our list of interview nightmares?
All right, let's talk about the where do you see yourself in 5 years question. This one always seems to get people, but this source, they had a good angle.
Okay, lay it on me. I need all the help I can get with that one.
So they're big on framing your answer around growth, but growth within the company.
Okay, so less about climbing the ladder somewhere else, more like,
More like you're invested in their long-term success.
Yeah.
You're ambitious, yeah, but loyal too.
got it, playing the long game.
Exactly. And they had this really smart example, right? The interviewee talks about how in 5 years they see themselves training new hires.
Ooh, that's good.
It implies you're already thinking about knowledge sharing, building the company up from inside.
Subtle, but effective.
Mm.
I like it. Okay, moving on to something I think we all dread, those tell me about a challenging situation at work questions.
Ah, yes. The behavioral interview. They want to see how you handle pressure.
Oh, sure. And this source, they actually gave a pretty detailed anecdote as an example.
It was a good one, too. The main takeaway I got was focus on what you did and how it turned out well.
So not just describing the problem, you're showing you can solve it.
Yes. Walk them through your process. What steps did you take? How'd you work with others? And then, boom, positive result.
Like you're the hero of your own little work story.
Exactly. Okay, but speaking of potentially stressful conversations, can we talk about salary expectations? Because that part of the interview always makes me nervous.
Oh, tell me about it. Such a delicate dance. You don't want to,
You don't want to lowball yourself.
but you also don't want to scare them off.
Right. Okay, this source had some bold advice, like surprisingly bold. They said you should actually come right out and say you've researched salary ranges for similar roles.
Wait, really? I always thought that was a recipe for getting lowballed.
Right. But their reasoning was interesting. They said, by showing you've done your homework, that you know your worth.
It shows you're informed, not just throwing out a number.
Exactly. And they even suggest using Glassdoor, things like that, to get a sense of what's standard.
Okay, so knowledge is power in this situation. Makes sense. So we've covered a lot. Breaking the ice, handling the tough questions, even that salary talk. But there's one last hurdle I want to get your take on, that final question.
Yeah.
Why you? Why should we hire you?
That's where you bring it all home. And the source had a nice 3-part framework for this. They called it FIT, additional skills, and a plan.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Break that down for me.
So FIT is all about showing you vibe with the company culture. You'd mesh well with the team.
You get them?
Exactly. Then additional skills. That's where you highlight those bonus things you offer. Unique software knowledge, specific project management experience, whatever makes you stand out.
Showing what you've got.
Yes. And then the plan part. This is where it gets good.
Okay, I'm on the edge of my seat. What's the plan?
They actually suggest having a 30, 60, 90-day plan ready to share, like a clear outline of what you'd aim to achieve in those first 3 months.
Whoa, next level.
Right. But it's brilliant. It shows you're not just looking for a job, you're ready to make a difference from day one.
Okay, I have to admit, this source has surprised me at every turn. It's not just about answering questions. It's like
a whole new way to approach the interview game.
totally. You're still being authentic, but you're strategic about it.
Exactly. And I think that's what I love most about this source. It gives you the tools to walk in there confident, prepared to show them who you are and what you can do.
Right. Like, this is me, but also this is what I'm bringing to the table.
Nailed it.
It's kind of like that saying, confidence is quiet, insecurity is loud. This source gives you the tool to walk in there with that quiet confidence.
100%. And you know what I love about this approach? It's not just about getting any job, it's about finding the right fit.
Where your skills matter.
Yes. Where you will thrive.
Okay, so this whole conversation, it's got me thinking. That 30, 60, 90-day plan thing,
Yeah.
that's not just for interviews, is it? Could you use that for other stuff?
Right. I was thinking the same thing. It's like a framework for anything new you want to tackle.
Right. Any goal, any project,
Yeah.
it forces you to, like, break it down instead of feeling overwhelmed.
Exactly. Define your objectives, what those first milestones need to be. It's brilliant.
Okay, so what if we all approach stuff that way? Our careers, even our personal goals. Imagine the possibilities.
Seriously. Like, this source just low-key handed us a tool for life.
It's about taking control, right?
Yeah.
Having a plan.
And showing up with intention.
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And, sometimes that's all it takes, that one little shift in thinking.
To unlock something amazing.
Exactly. And that's what I love about our little deep dives here. It's not just about the info. It's about those moments, those aha
The
moments.
spark you need to take action.
Because maybe all you needed was that one new idea, right? To see things differently.
And that could change everything. So, to everyone listening, what was your takeaway today? What resonated? What are you going to do differently?
Because sometimes one small change is all it takes to unlock a whole world of opportunity.